We're going to move on. We're going to move on to the Bias Plus reports. Let me make sure I have this set up here because this is the matchups. This is where we do all the matchups, man. And let me tell you something. When I looked at the matchups for the upcoming week, I was like, oh man, there are a few buttes this weekend. So let's get that rocking here and we will move right into it. Bam and bam. All right. Starting out, Falcons at Panthers. Bias plus score 2.4 favors the Panthers. This is a division game.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Always good. I love division games because there's just something weird about them. You can't count any team out in this situation. And, you know, if the Falcons weren't so bad on defense, they would probably be favored. But let's face it, the Falcons on defense are 26. So you've got your 13th ranked Falcons on offense, and they're playing the Panthers, who are ranked 13th on defense. So the Falcons are scoring 26.3. Panthers only giving up 24 points per game. Obviously, the Falcons are racking it up or pretty good on offense. And the Panthers, that's where they leave a little something to be desired, coming in 25th. Who do you have?
The Panthers are 25th in offense, right?
Yes.
And defensively, they're 13th?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Falcons are 26 defensively.
Right. So the substance of the Falcons team is on the offensive side, and the substance of the Panthers team is on the defensive side. Plus, they have Teddy Bridgewater. Hence, I'm taking the Panthers.
You like Teddy over Matt in this situation?
Absolutely.
All right. Then he's going with the bias and the Panthers. Next up, Colts at Lions. Bias plus score 8.5 favors the Colts. Who you got?
Wow. Okay. I like the Colts. I've been liking the Colts. They started off like their defense was going to be like pretty dominant, but they've kind of fallen off since then. However, they're coming off a bye. I think they got themselves together. No miracles by Matt Stafford this week. I'm taking the Colts.
Going with the bias and the Colts. Fantastic. Next up, Vikings at Packers. Bias plus score 14 favors the Packers. That is the second largest bias of the weekend. Who do you have?
Okay. One good thing that's going to happen for the Vikings this week is that they're going to get Dalvin Cook back. Packers' run defense is nothing really to brag about. So this game could actually be a little bit closer than it would have been if it was last week. But Aaron Rodgers is on fire. Nobody can cover Devontae Adams. He can't be covered. I'm sorry, just can't be done. I know we say can't guard Mike. You can't guard Devontae either. So I'm going to go with the Packers. I think they just flat out outscore them. Even if the Vikings come out and they're able to control the ball on the ground, and Kirk Gibson has a good day.
Kirk Gibson?
What's his name? Cousins. Kirk Gibson. You know why? Because the Dodgers won the World Series.
Oh,
listen, the Dodgers won the World Series. So I'm watching the highlights after I watched the game, and I watched the highlights, and then they said the last time the Dodgers won a World Series, Kirk Gibson was the hero. He hit the famous home run and ran around the bases with the bad knee, and he did the fist pump thing. I know you've seen that a million times. So I had Kirk Gibson on my brain. Kirk Cousins, even if he has a good game, will be outscored by Aaron Rodgers, and that'll be the end of that. It's just that simple.
Well, here's a chance, again, a division game here for your Bills to get themselves right. And here's a chance for the Patriots to try to keep that record, because I don't think they've lost to the Bills since the Stone Age. Bias plus score of 4.3, however, favors the Bills in this situation. Is Cam going to be able to get his act together?
I don't know if Cam is going to be able to get his act together, but I don't think it matters that much. Actually, I don't think he's going to be able to get his act together. In fact, there's a question as to whether he will start the game or not. I've heard some rumblings about Jared Stidham starting the game. If Stidham starts the game, the Bills win easy. If Cam starts the game, the Bills still win. It just won't be as easy. So I'm going with the Bills. They're home. Not that home field means much anymore. They've had some pretty bad games these last couple games. Like I said, defensively, they should be far stronger than what they're showing. I know they're very low in the rankings as far as points against is concerned, far lower than I expected them to be. And they're not getting the kind of turnover production that I was expecting from them either. So maybe I was hoping too much for them. Maybe I overhyped them or something, but I've been pretty disappointed. But this could be a get-right game for them, and I'm hoping that it is. I'm going to take the Bills.
You jumped on the Bill bandwagon with both feet hard early on in the season.
In the off season, I like the Bills. I saw it coming, and now I don't know what's going on. The ride's getting wobbly. It's crazy.
2020, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Titans at Bengals. Bias plus score of 12 favors the Titans. Okay, so when I looked at this game, you've got 11th ranked in net points versus the 22nd ranked, fourth ranked offense versus the 21st ranked defense, 17th ranked defense versus the 24th ranked offense. Should be a Titans win. I can't see them messing it up. What are you saying?
I don't think they'll mess this up. I've seen the Bengals defense go into hibernation a couple of times. I think they'll do that again. Going to be some business decisions being made when Derrick Henry gets the ball. I think the Titans grind it out and win a tough one. And the only reason it's going to be tough is because Joe Burrow is the truth. And Joe Burrow can sling it. And Joe Burrow can keep them in the game. But it's going to be just like, I don't know if it's going to be just like the game against Cleveland, but it will probably be the same outcome. He'll play great. He'll keep them in it. The final score will be relatively high, but they will lose because they can't. There's no way that defense stops Derrick Henry, let alone Tannehill. So Titans all the way on that one.
Yeah, there's just a maturity differential between those two teams. You know, I mean, the Titans are a team bordering on going to the Super Bowl, and the Bengals are a team that coming out of the basement trying to figure out, you know, why this light is so blinding here. But, you know, they you
know what, though? They got to be happy because, you know, anytime you're so bad that you got the number one pick in the draft and you know you need a quarterback and you know that if you pick the right guy, this can turn your franchise around. And if you pick the wrong guy, you could be in the basement for years to come. And they got it right. So now they can go into the offseason saying, let's address this defense and we could be a winning team. So it's about time the Bengals turned it around. I'm glad to see it.
Well, they had a good decision in picking Joe Burrow. So, you know, first step, get yourself a good quarterback. All right, next up. This is a contender for intriguing game of the week with me. Number one, bias plus score of 1.5 is small. That's nothing. It's favoring the Browns, who just lost OBJ, which some people are saying that might actually help them. Because it takes that whole distraction of we have to get OBJ into the game out of the mix, and maybe they can actually run a balanced football, a balanced offense, and not worry about that. we shall see. The interesting thing that I saw when I looked at it is, number one, their offenses are right there next to each other, with the Raiders ranked 11th and the Browns ranked 10th. And then when you look at their defense, they're right there next to each other, with the Raiders ranked 31st and the Browns ranked 29th.
Wow.
So in terms, there's some, they're kind of even in a lot of ways. The Browns are favored by 1.5. Who do you have?
Well, first of all, now that you've quoted those numbers to me, I can see why you're picking this as a possible intriguing game, or as your intriguing game. I am also intrigued. This is a tough one to call. I got to think about this. If I get a hot Baker Mayfield against a Raiders defense that ain't that solid, and he comes out firing, and who's the new kid taking over for OBJ? Rashard Higgins, who really actually has been around for a little while. He's just been kind of like fourth string, on and off practice squad type dude. He now has a nice sizable role. I don't know what kind of shape Landry's in, but they got a new tight end. In fact, I'm embarrassed because I can't think of his doggone name. His last name starts with an H. That guy balled last week. I think he had 2 touchdowns. So people are going to start snatching him up off the waiver wire in fantasy. But then you got the Raiders. Derek Carr is really playing well. Josh Jacobs is tough to stop. Aguilar having a career year. Ruggs running past everybody. This is woo, man. I don't know, man. I don't know who I'm taking in this game. I really don't. But you know what? I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to take the Raiders.
Okay.
When in doubt, go against the bias.
Feeling lucky? Are you feeling lucky? Okay. All right. I ain't mad at you. You know, gotta go with your gut sometimes. That's what they say. Gotta go with the gut, you know? I mean,
it's a tough one. This one is tough. I might have to watch while I'm watching Red Zone on TV. I'm gonna have to find this one on my phone and watch it.
Yeah, AFC battle right there, man. AFC. All right, who's up next? Jets at Chiefs. No, this is not one of the intriguing games of the week, even though it is the largest bias plus differential. 28.4 favoring the Chiefs. Question is, who's going to be left on the Jets when they go to play this game? Because they're shopping their top draft choice, Quinnen Williams, already. You know,
Really?
yeah, they're already talking about letting him leave. So the Jets might be in that. Was not tanking for Trevor. What was it for Trevor? Something else they were doing.
Sever for Trevor.
Covering for Trevor. Yeah, they might already be starting that process. So, I mean, they're already talking about the quarterback not being there next year, naturally, if Trevor is an option.
Wait. Sam Darnold is only in his second year?
I think he's third year.
Third year? But he was
1 year we lost for Tamano, pretty much.
But he was a first round pick.
Yes.
Well, you can't quit on a first round pick that fast.
We're talking about Quinnen Williams. They just drafted him this past draft.
Yeah, but he's not a quarterback though.
Oh, it's still an all. He's when you're defensive stars. Well, he should.
Trubisky still has a job.
Huh?
Trubisky still has a job.
Yeah, but that's the Bears. They don't know what to do on offense.
They're not going to. Oh, speaking of which, you want to trash Sam Darnold this early after you went out on a limb to pick him in the first round just a couple of years ago? Well, I heard Trevor Lawrence say, before I go to the Jets, I'll stay in college another year. How about that?
Yeah, that's part of the discussion. That's part of the discussion.
And I don't blame him a bit. By the way, take the Chiefs in this one, please.
Yeah.
Don't bother to watch it. Just take the Chiefs.
And I'll be quite honest. If I was Trevor And if you didn't promise that you were going to fire Gase, I would definitely stay in college.
Oh God, just another reason. You're piling on now.
All right, next up, Rams at Dolphins. Now, you know, this had to be a contender for intriguing game of the week. The bias plus score is 0.7, Benny, 0.7, favoring the Dolphins. And we talked about that in the early midpoint rankings, where the Dolphins ranked higher than the Rams.
All right.
I tell you.
Call me crazy. Call me crazy. My mind works in mysterious ways. So we got the LA Rams coming in, a pretty good team, a well-coached team, a possible contender in one of the toughest divisions in the NFL, to play the Dolphins, who under normal circumstances you would look at this game and go, except the Dolphins have the bias, and they have the bias based on them cats been balling, okay? They've been playing really, really well, and they've been led by Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now we have the first game for Tua Tagovailoa, okay? Don't ask me why, but in my brain, Tua is Trump.
Trump?
Trump taking an unlikely bias and running with it when it was Fitzpatrick, who was Obama. It was his bias all along. Am I crazy? I tell you, I didn't make that. I didn't write that down. That just came into my head.
We'll get you some help later. But I kind of understand what you're saying. You know,
the Dolphins going to lose. The Dolphins are going to lose. Just because that came into my head, the Dolphins are going to lose because Tua's coming in. We got the bias. Yeah, like he knows about us, right? We got the bias. Guess what, pal? That's Fitzpatrick's bias.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Take the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams. Okay. I can't blame you on that. All right.
That was weird.
Next game up.
Crazy about that.
Is also on the list for intriguing games of the week.
Oh, boy.
Steelers at Ravens. Bias plus score 2.4 favors the Ravens. And you know it had to. Number one defense. You know, when I looked at this game, first of all, in terms of net points, Steelers are third, Ravens are first. In terms of offense, Steelers are sixth, Ravens are eighth. So they're right there with them. In terms of defense, Steelers are sixth, Ravens are first. So Ravens have the favor. So the question is, what is Lamar going to do? Is he going to show? You're going to have to throw the ball. The running game is going to work a little bit, but the Steelers have some decent speed on their defense. You don't want to run too much. You want to get that ball out of your hands quickly. Can he do it? That's the question. What do you got on this?
Who did the Steelers play last week?
What did they play?
I said, who did they play?
Who did the Steelers play last week? Well, I have some schedules up here. Let's go. This would be week 7, right?
Just talked about it, but that just goes to show that I'm getting old and my memory is not that good.
Yeah. Steelers played the Titans.
They played the Titans.
27-24, Steelers.
Oh, okay. The Titans, whose MO is the ground game, correct? And the Steelers won, right?
They were getting
the Steelers played
Derrick Henry before he could get going.
I don't care if they got him in the parking lot.
TJ Watt's at least 3 times in the backfield.
I don't care if they got him in the parking lot. Okay. The Ravens' MO is the run game too. So guess what? Steelers win this game. Why? Because they're going to challenge Lamar to throw the ball. And although they're coming off a bye, and I'm sure they've worked on some things, I don't believe it's going to be enough to get them over the hump. The Steelers' defense is the real deal. Great against the run, sufficient, a little better than average against the pass. So I'm going to go with the Steelers on this one. Should be a knockdown, drag out. I don't think this will be a high-scoring game. I think this will be a low-scoring game, slugfest, but the Steelers should come out on top.
I chose that as my intriguing game of the week. So I watched that whole game last week and sort of flipped back and forth to Red Zone every once in a while because I really wanted to watch that. And then I went to Game Pass during the week to watch some of those games in that 1 o'clock time frame that I didn't get a chance to really watch. That's why I saw that smashing block by Derrick Henry. So, emotionally, I agree with you. Again, the numbers are the numbers, no conjecture, no opinion. That's what we say about the numbers. It is what it is. So I'm looking forward to this game. All right, next up. Saints at Bears. Bias plus score 1.3 favors the Saints. We've already talked about the Bears' dysfunction, but the Saints are coming in, what is it, net point of 1 or something like that? A defense that's, Saints defense is ranked 24th, whereas the Bears defense is ranked 7th. It's just that the Bears can't score, and the Saints are 7th in scoring. So what can I tell you?
I'll say this. The Bears may be ranked 7th in points against, but they're not on steady legs right now. I see the Bears defense beginning to falter as the Saints defense actually gets a little bit better. Just a little bit, but a little bit better. We can talk about Drew Brees' arm. We can talk about their offense being, short passes, this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter to me as long as his accuracy is there and he has playmakers all over the field. And he's getting one of them back this week, I hope, in Michael Thomas. And Sanders has been down on the COVID thing for already a week, going into his second week. I haven't heard anything about him being back to practice yet. So I don't know what his situation is going to be. But if they get either one of them or both of them back, it's only going to help. So I'm going to go with the Saints. I don't believe in the Bears at all. I think the Bears are going to start sinking in everybody's rankings.
Yeah, going with the bias on that. All righty. Well, as I said, this would be an intriguing game, except for the fact that it's my beloved 49ers in a division matchup against the Seahawks, and the bias plus score is only 0.5. But it favors my Niners, mainly because we're just a little more balanced. We might not be great, in either sides of the ball. The Seahawks are great on the offensive side, but their defense is just giving up points.
Yeah, they give way too many points.
Giving up way too many points. Now, I saw something come across. I think they just picked up somebody on their defensive line. It came across somewhere. I have to find it. Maybe I can pick it up a little bit later. But they are trying to shore up that line because they're practically sackless. They're not. Somebody reported that Kyler Murray didn't get hurried or touched in that game.
Yeah, see, that's not good. That's an element of your defense that you can't do without. Like, you need that. Even if your secondary isn't the greatest, if you've got a really good pass rush, you can make up for some of their deficiencies. Without a pass rush, even a really good secondary can be made to look bad. So that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all.
Yeah, yeah, and as these teams get healthier in the second half, it's going to be even that much more competitive. So this would be a really good game, expected to be a good game. It's not going to be my intriguing game because I don't do my own team, but I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this matchup. All
Well,
right,
no, tell me this. This should be an interesting game, but tell me this: where are the Niners at in points against? Because that'll tell me a lot.
well, sir, the Niners are fifth in points against. Seahawks are 23rd. But the
Woo.
Seahawks are first on offense. Niners are 16th.
Oh my goodness. Now I see why they have the bias, but guess what? I'm going with the Seahawks just because I like the Seahawks. I believe in Russ. I'm sticking with him.
All right, there you go. Cowboys at Eagles. Bias plus score 6.1 favors the Eagles. This is not so intriguing, even though, again, a division game. Weird things happen in division games. I have no clue who the Cowboys will have at quarterback. And the Eagles are, well, I don't know who's going to be on the field with those guys. But for right now, they played a lot better. Cowboys are in last place on defense, and even the Eagles aren't that bad. So bias plus score favors the Eagles. Who do you got?
As challenged as the Eagles are on offense, they're better than the Cowboys. And I'm not even compared to the Cowboys defense, the Eagles should be on their way to the doggone Super Bowl. So I'm taking the Eagles all day. Of course, this will be a game that they screw up and lose somehow, but I couldn't imagine how they could do it. So I'm going to take the Eagles.
That is the Sunday night game.
Oh, good.
So we'll get it. We'll be able to watch all the details.
At least people on the East Coast might be interested enough to watch the Sunday night game because I don't think anybody else is going to want to watch that.
Yeah, worst, almost historically bad division this year, So absolutely. All right. So that wraps up the Sunday games. That leaves one game left. And I know you have a particular interest in this game because your Giants are going to host the Buccaneers. And the largest bias plus of the weekend favoring the Buccaneers at 20.1. And no, I'm sorry. It's not the largest because the Chiefs were the largest, but that's okay. What are you guys going to do?
The Chiefs had the largest bias only because they're playing the Jets.
Yeah.
We've easily gotten that. I'm going to take the Buccaneers.
Two New York teams are giving up the largest biases.
That's awful, isn't it? And they play in the same stadium, and it goes on and on and on. It's horrible. Crazy thing is, the Giants' defense isn't terrible, but they can't score. And they surely are not going to be able to score against a defense as good as the Buccaneers. This is the Buccaneers game all day. I just hope to be somewhat competitive. Show me a bright spot. Show me Evan Ingram catching a tough pass or scoring a touchdown. Give me something to feed off of because this won't be much of a game. And in fantasy, be careful with this game. This might look like a layup for Tom Brady, and in real life, it will be, but fantasy-wise, it might not be. You might want to play somebody else other than Tom Brady in this one. Just a hunch.
Okay, we
get what I'm saying? In other words, they will probably be able to control the game pretty much on the ground and getting a lot of 3 and outs. And I don't think Brady's going to have to throw for massive yardage to keep them in the game. He'll be able to throw, when he wants to throw. I don't expect them to come out and start winging it all over the place and trying to blow the Giants out. I think they're just going to win the game. And it could still be a blowout. He might throw for 250. He could throw for 250 and 4 touchdowns. He's done that. So, now, but it's more likely that he'll throw for 250, 260, and 2 touchdowns, and then Fournette will score on the ground, and Ronald Jones will score 2 touchdowns, and that'll be a blowout. His numbers won't be fantasy worthy. That's all I'm saying. But the score will be 40-0.
Okay.
Don't try to understand, bro. It's fantasy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that wraps up the Bias Plus portion of the game of the week. Somehow I'm doing something with my screen that I have no idea what I'm doing. Hold on one second. All right, so we always talk about the Bias Plus reports. You came in at what, 61%?
I believe so.
61%?
Pretty good day for me.
For week 7, the Bias Plus report. I'm looking at the game. I'm checking them off, right? Yes. We get to the Cardinals Seahawks game. They're going back and forth. I'm like ready to pull my hair out. I think Russell's going to screw up my. It's almost like when you have a shutout and you're just trying to keep them. You want to keep that big fat 0 in there, and they kick a field goal and screw it up for you.
Right.
I think this is the first. You think this is the first? 100% of the Bias Plus came back on the winning side. I couldn't believe it.
Congratulations. The Bias Plus report was 100% correct in week 7 of the 2020 NFL season. The Bias Plus report reported every game properly, picked the winner on every single one. This thing's legit.
I'm even amazed. And I always call this a football experiment because nobody else is doing this. So we're just tracking the numbers, and it is what it is.
Right.
No conjecture, no opinion. Straight numbers. All right. So that wraps up the Bias Plus portion of the show. We're going to go to, we're going to talk about, this is a commentary portion. We get to talk about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Well, let's start it off, Benny. I'm going to see if I can pull up our page. And because usually I like to start with that. Speaking of, all right, this is funny. And you might not think it's funny, though.
Oh, well, I don't want to see it if I don't think it's going to be funny.
You don't want to see it if you don't think it's funny?
I mean, if you think I'm not going to think it's funny, you're going to show me anyway.
Absolutely. Let's see if I can get this to play here. Oh, now all of a sudden it wants to. See?
Is it a meme about the Giants or something?
Yeah, your negative energy was enough to keep the video from playing correctly.
Oh, I know what it's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be Daniel Jones's run.
Oh, you know it is.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Everybody's having fun with that. I laughed. I thought it was funny.
Did you really?
It was funny.
Everybody that I talked to that saw this thought it was hilarious. And it played well on our Instagram page. So, okay. You looked up there. For whatever reason, it just did not want to play.
That's okay. They scored that series, so.
They sure did. And I was actually glad that it happened because, it was such uh-oh. I think we have it here, Benny. Let's see if I can. I mean, it's fun for the audience. You know what I mean? That's
I seen it. It's on a loop on ESPN. Jeez.
Is it really?
Come on, man. It's on.
I haven't seen it. Not this particular. I mean, the run was there, but I did not see this particular video. So, for everybody,
Oh. Oh,
Okay.
no.
You
Oh,
hadn't saw that yet?
enough. Yeah, I saw
Oh
it.
God. I was like, oh no, that was just too good. I don't know who did that. And the music was just right. All that damn.
Horrible. You're right. That wasn't funny.
Yes, it was. You laughed. I saw you. We got you on film laughing. Oh man. I was like, oh no. Okay. What's up next? Let's just, everybody else is talking about it. So we might as well, at least say a couple things about the rundown. DK Metcalf running down Buda Baker. It's called the effort play probably of the year. What can I say? You saw it, I saw it, the world saw it, everybody's impressed. We have it on our page, one of the plays of the year. I don't have the video here, I just have the picture of DK. What did you think about that run?
After watching the replay a couple of times, I realized that it was actually even more impressive than I originally thought.
Really?
Yeah, because when they lined up, Metcalf was on the far side of the field. He wasn't out wide. In fact, he was kind of tight, but he was on the left-hand side of the line of scrimmage as they were going into the end zone. So I thought that when the interception occurred, he peeped it from over there where he was, took the angle, very slight angle it would have been too, because like I said, he wasn't real wide, and just walked him down. But it was more impressive than that because on the play, his route brought him in that direction. So he was almost behind Buda Baker when Buda Baker took off. And he straight gave him a head start and walked him. There was no angle. There was no angle.
Yeah, you're right.
Walked him. And it's funny because, in flag football and, back when we used to play rough touch and probably in high school and all, the coach would tell you, if you're the quarterback and you throw an interception and the guy's running it back, you better tackle him. And Russ had that thought at first till Buda got in his stride. And Russ was like, what the? And then whoosh, he blows by Russ. And Russ is like, oh, my man got him.
I'm thinking to myself, Russ, you gave up at the 50-yard line. If he needed a little hand, you just took yourself out of the play. No. Russ was like, I know my monster got this covered.
Right. Extremely impressive, man. Extremely impressive.
When you see somebody just running you down that's that big, and they probably got the jumbotron, so he probably looked up and saw him coming.
Yeah, and that had to be scary. My thing is, I wonder, did he really look? Because, well, I don't know. You can always second guess people, but if I'm running in a straight line and somebody's behind me running in a straight line and they're gaining on me, I'm going over here and I'm going to go over here. Because if I do that and I know I'm going to do that and then I do that and I know I'm going to do that, you have to react to what I did. That might buy me a second.
Yeah, he didn't do any zigzags at all, did he?
He didn't do any zigzags at all. He didn't veer any closer to the sideline because he had room. If he had just veered slightly so that when he got to the end zone, he would be right by the pylon, that might have been enough too. But because he ran straight, that allowed Metcalf to run straight. And in straight speed, no contest.
From what I understand, Buda Baker ran like a 4.4 in the combine.
That may be.
And so he's not used to getting run down like that. That's an unusual circumstance for him, you know.
Yeah, he'll be hearing about that for a while.
He'll be hearing about that. That's going to go down. It's already in that list of historic rundowns, which include people like Deion Sanders and what's his name? The used to be with the Redskins.
Darryl Green.
Darryl Green, yeah.
Oh, classic
rundowns. Yeah,
he had a few of them.
Yeah, exactly. And he ran down some of the fastest people, which I think might have included Eric Dickerson.
I believe one of those plays. Yes, I believe so.
Yeah,
now, he had a little angle on that one, though. He took a little advantage of an angle on that one, but
it's still Eric Dickerson.
Yeah, but it's still Darryl Green. For a long time, was just bowed down to as the fastest man in the league.
No doubt.
No question.
And I think it was till he was like 50 or some ridiculous old age. I'm joking, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, he was deep into his career before anybody was able to really test him.
Yeah.
He's fast for a long time. He's probably still fast. He probably running 4.6 right now in his dress shoes.
I'm telling you. So anyway, that was historic. We definitely wanted to include that in the show. All right.